I wear a mask to school. I wear a mask to school. Hi ho the dairy-o, I wear a mask to school. It helps to keep me safe. It helps to keep me safe. Hi ho the dairy-o, it helps to keep me safe. It keeps my friends safe. It keeps my friends safe. Hi ho the dairy-o, it keeps my friends safe. And let me see a hooray! Put your hands up in the air!
Holy frickin' cow, public schools should definitely be called indoctrination centers, and those kids look like some of the most confused and unhappiest children I have ever seen. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and boy, do we have some very important news to get into today, especially with the military intervening in California as the state of New York is looking to copy its homework. Yeah, lots of crazy news happening. We're going to go over that, plus a lot more. And just jumping right into it, right now, of course, there's a lot of dialogue surrounding Facebook, especially with a new whistleblower that has been testifying as we're speaking right now to the House of Representatives about just how horrible Facebook is. And that there's definitely a lot of arguments to make there, especially with the larger psychological experimentation that Facebook has been doing on unsuspecting users without their permission, the very overt connections that they have to Q Intel and other intelligence agency connected startups, the censorship of independent voices, and of course, the big tech monopoly has also, of course, amassed a huge amount of power, which should be considered illegal under antitrust laws since they pose a danger to our way of life, and members of Congress look like they're not interested in that at all. The main problem that a lot of politicians have with Facebook is that they don't censor more content that the politicians dislike. Yeah, literally, as the testimony is unfolding right now, one of the main arguments mainly Democrats are making during these hearings is that Facebook isn't doing enough to push their political propaganda while censoring any opponents to them. That's the overall consensus I'm getting at looking at some of these hearings, but overall, at least there's a conversation started, especially when it comes to the mental state of people who use their platform and have a carefully curated algorithm that has already been influenced by politicians that is creating real-world harm that does need to be addressed. Now, what is going to be the results of these hearings? Well, we're going to be following them closely and updating you as we find out. Also, in related people brainwashed and insane news, we have this shocking story from UCLA, as a professor there is suing the university after he faced backlash and alleged persecution because he refused to grade black students with more leniency than, of course, his peers. Yes, because of a professor not playing favorites because of the way people were born, not giving him better grades just because of the way that he was born, not going out of his way to give him a special privilege, a professor was put on leave and threatened to be fired. Also today, in unrelated news, we're learning the story about Thomas Cadwell, who had an FBI raid his home 5:30 in the morning and put him in solitary confinement for allegedly being a ringleader of the Oath Keepers, storming the Capitol, attacking people, which he says never happened. He never even entered the Capitol, and the government doesn't even have any evidence providing that he did any of those things, even though they charged him with all of those things and literally threw him in solitary confinement, put firearms to his face, broke into his home, and now he is facing financial ruin because of an overzealous FBI and federal prosecutors, which he even previously worked for. And if that prosecution doesn't show you that this country is going down a very troubling path, I don't know what does. And whether it's Democrats or Republicans being wrongfully persecuted, any person being wrongfully persecuted, we of course we'll be calling it out here on wearechange.org, where we are building a separate new platform, lukeuncensored.com, where we have exclusive videos available for you, where we go into greater detail about the trajectory of this country, where it's heading, where it's going, and the bigger troubles ahead. Also, because we were demonetized, we have launched a t-shirt store, and we are bringing back a lot of very popular t-shirts that we had just previously before. All of it exclusively available on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. You could also get shirts like the one I'm wearing right now that says "Attention is a hell of a drug," with all the big tech CIA connected monopolies on my shirt. And because of popular demand, we have just launched our Let's Go Brandon t-shirt that has a very interesting shadow, to say the least. This shirt just launched. Everyone was asking for it. This is our version of it. And all of these shirts are available to you, as they're still not censored yet, on, of course, thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And yes, some of our shirts do get censored, so get them before the man takes them down. Now, I think it's fair to say that the current situation that we're all in is very perplexing. It's not a very easy one. It's very confusing, and it's one where you can't really ask a lot of important questions about, which is only making it that much worse. But one of the people that keeps daring to ask some of these, I think, important questions, especially on the mainstream media, one of the rare times that this happens, I think, is with individuals like Tucker Carlson. Now, I don't always agree with him, but last night he brought up a very important point, a very important question that I do believe is worth at least pondering, and that is, if there was no lockdowns, no restrictions, no mandates, no government mitigation of this sickness, would have it actually helped? Would have it actually saved a huge number of lives if we just ignored it? Now, I'm not a medical professional, and it would be very difficult to answer that question personally myself, but with some recent scientific studies and latest developments, especially in Israel, I think this question should be more relevant, especially right now with Israel just announcing that nearly 2 million of its people have lost their domestic permission slip passport system status, as the government has changed the rules there out of nowhere and told citizens that they need to comply with yet another procedure for their permission slip to be valid in order to live their lives, in order to go to the supermarkets, to the restaurants, to be able to shop at stores. You need to be compliant and get a permission slip from the government, which they keep adding new layers to. This, of course, as we're finding out that this procedure has, quote, waning immunity, and that a lot of these cases and a lot of these, quote, breakthrough cases may not even be related to Delta. This is according to some preliminary data. It, of course, hasn't been officially confirmed yet. This is as Project Veritas just released a video with Pfizer scientists saying that natural antibodies are better than the procedure that their company makes. These are statements from Nick Carl, who is an official Pfizer scientist. They also have Chris Course, who's a Pfizer senior associate scientist, saying that, quote, you're protected for longer if you have natural antibodies compared to, of course, the procedure his company makes. And there's even Rahul Kahanki, who also made very similar statements. Now, of course, we're still waiting for official confirmations about what actually happened here. We're waiting for a statement from Pfizer. We, of course, will be following this story very closely, since, of course, there's a lot of implications here, as well as other studies that back up some of these claims by these scientists and medical professionals. A lot of the big tech monopolies want us listening to scientists, especially from Pfizer, but I have a feeling that these videos is not what they had in mind here. But nonetheless, with these statements and scientific studies, there should be a bigger, broader conversation, a debate, which we have been denied as of yet. But hopefully videos like this and investigative journalism like this could spark this very important conversation, which in my opinion is long overdue, especially if we care about health and the personal well-being of a lot of people. And a lot of people are finding out about these latest developments. They're finding out what's happening in Israel. They're finding out what's happening with some of these investigative journalistic pieces. And in places like New York City, that has implemented almost the same exact system as Israel has just a few months months ahead, they know that most likely in the upcoming future, there's a very high probability that they once again will be asked to jump through another hoop, take another procedure, do another thing the government wants them to take in order to get their permission slip passport system valid once again. The state of New York is also committing other absolutely ridiculous moves, like recently firing 1,400 healthcare professionals because of government mandates, and that to me is absolutely ridiculous as much as it is disgusting, because we're having, according to the mainstream media, a very serious health problem here, to the point where California just announced that they're deploying the National Guards to hospitals because they're, quote, overwhelmed with the amount of people that are sick. And during this time where people need, the most amount of help, when we have the mainstream media literally fear-mongering how everyone's going to get hurt, everyone's going to be sick, this is the time that some establishment blue checkmark liberals, along with some people in the media establishment, are cheering a move and are going along with the move without criticizing that 1,400 medical professionals have been fired. And to add insult to injury, we also have the announcement that a lot of these people are denied unemployment benefits, which means they will go without a check out of nowhere, out of the blue, and won't be able to sustain, feed their families, pay the bills, all because of a political system that cares more about power than the actual health and well-being of its citizenry. This is what this move shows and highlights to me. If you think I'm wrong, let me know why in the comment section below, but I think it's pretty clear that these individuals do not give a damn about your personal well-being or health at all. And if you agree with that message, share this video with your friends and family members. It's very easy. Double click the URL, copy, go to a random messenger, Signal, Telegram, Proton Mail, whatever it is. Even if it's someone spamming you, reply, right click, paste, send it to them without even saying anything. And because you guys do that, that's one of the reasons why I'm still here. That's why I love you guys. If you like this video, click like. If you disliked it, click the dislike button. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Stay tuned for a lot more and yet another video available today on LukeUncensored.com. Hope to see you there.